were caught, you were jailed. And the third time, you were put to death. This is the Christian gospel.
Yeah.
And look at the Christians who would like to get some of these right-wing political people in the White House. I don't want them there.
Amen.
Don't think they wouldn't force the laws on you. And you know, we all know by now, hopefully, that you cannot legislate morality. But you can minister to the spirits of men and women and see change take place in their lives.
Yes.
Some of the most loving and kind people I've ever met are gays. And I'm not for the gay agenda, so don't misunderstand me. But they have been so abused and so rejected by Christianity. And most churches in America, if you would go in there and say you're gay, they wouldn't want you there.
Right.
They could go to Alcoholics Anonymous. Because there is more compassion and more of an understanding of God as a higher power than there is in Christianity. Because no matter how bad you are, in Alcoholics Anonymous, they'll accept you. And if you backslide, you can still come. So one source, that's a good name for the family. One source. All of us came out of one, so there is the most magnificent essence of all that God is that emanates from the Creator.
Yes.
That energy was in the world, and the world knew Him not. It's no different today. Well, thank God there are people today all over the earth who recognize that Christ has come again.
Yes. Yes.
And He's living, and He's breathing in the people.
Yeah.
We were in a meeting 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was an inclusive meeting. Have you ever all heard of the inclusive meetings? Carlton Pearson, I believe, started that thing. But there's been meetings for a few years now all over the United States about God being all-inclusive. All-inclusive just means everybody's included. Well, they were having a meeting. A church in Dallas opened their doors to have an all-inclusive meeting in Dallas. And it was all set up, and it was, I guess, a short time before the meetings were to begin. And the pastor found out that one of the friends of mine, who's a minister, was coming. And that pastor said, if you're going to have that person come, you can't meet in my church. Yet he claims to be inclusive.
Except for that.
I love the word inclusive because the word inclusive to me is better than the word reconciliation. Because I know a lot of reconciliation ministers that won't reconcile with me. But if you're inclusive, then you can't leave me out. But see, inclusive can become a doctrine, just like reconciliation has become a doctrine among the kingdom folks.
That's right.
Because they believe that everybody's been reconciled, but they can't be reconciled with certain ones. So I guess they're waiting to die and go to heaven where everybody can be one. But this thing that God is doing today is so beyond our intellectual understanding.
Amen.
And there is such an all-inclusive love that is welling up within our heart. And I can't talk about it today. I guess that's just my part. I'd like to talk like this guy. I meant it today when I said, you know what, we all of us could should come here this weekend and learn from this man. Because this kind of a word will change your life like nothing else will.
Amen.
But you have to be open. People looked at Jesus for the most part and they saw man. They didn't really see God, they saw man. Yet that light, that energy, the fullness, the essence of all that God is was emanating from that man. Yet they worship the man and don't realize they have the same essence and the same energy. And they worship the door because he said, I'm the door, and they totally misunderstood what he meant. But they worship the door, and I say, look, a door is an entrance into another realm. You worship the door, but you don't enter in. But that is so quickly changing today.
Yes.
Because people are beginning by numbers. Those of us who travel, I just realize, there's people all over the world today that are understanding the language of inclusiveness. And that God is everything, all there is. Nothing exists outside of it. I've been so blessed because I think most of you probably know that I'll be going to Italy next month, early next month, to share this wonderful message with what the pastor tells me, that these people are hard-headed, they're Catholics, they're fundamentalists. But I'll tell you what, if you don't preach intellect, and you don't preach gospel, you can touch anybody. I spoke in a Baptist, holiness, Jesus-only church about a month ago. Had no problem at all. No opposition, no mean looks. Who doesn't understand love? I had a little bit of problem when they started asking me questions about baptism, because I didn't fit their doctrine on baptism. But that didn't matter because I could tell they were blessed. God is the Father of all. And the all-inclusive love of God will capture this world and usher in reality, the kingdom of God. It's a wonderful